In the tense days leading up to his July 2025 sentencing, Sean Diddy Combs made what would be his final, heartfelt plea for mercy. The world watched as the once untouchable music mogul faced the consequences of his actions, his fate hanging in the balance. Stripped of his trademark bravado and public persona, Diddy penned a deeply personal letter to Judge Arun Subramanian. In it, he didn't beg for leniency for himself, but instead pleaded for compassion for his family, those who would bear the weight of his punishment alongside him. He confessed, "I lost my way. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness. I have been humbled and broken to my core." These words, raw and unfiltered, revealed a man grappling with the consequences of his choices, stripped of the armor of celebrity. This was a sharp contrast to the defiant figure the public had seen in the past. Now, remorse and acceptance had replaced his former bravado, signaling a profound transformation in his outlook and demeanor. Through his legal team, Combs issued a public apology to his fans and supporters. He openly acknowledged the pain he'd caused, admitting he'd betrayed the trust of those who once saw him as a cultural icon and role model. The statement was a rare moment of vulnerability from a man known for his confidence and swagger. In his letter, he implored the judge to see him not as the larger-than-life Diddy, but as Sean Combs, a son, a father, and a flawed human being. He spoke of his love for his children, and the pain his actions had brought to those closest to him, hoping to remind the court of his humanity. This was his last attempt to demonstrate humility, to show that he understood the gravity of his mistakes, and perhaps, to sway the court's decision in his favor. It was a moment of reckoning, both public and deeply personal. As the world watched, glued to their screens and awaiting the outcome, many wondered if this act of contrition would be enough to soften the blow of justice. The anticipation was palpable, with supporters and critics alike holding their breath. The stage was set for a dramatic reckoning, one that would not only determine Diddy's fate, but also serve as a powerful reminder of the consequences that come with fame, power, and the choices we make. On a tense July day, the verdict arrived. Sean Combs was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation for prostitution under the Mann Act. Acquitted of RICO and sex trafficking, the conviction still marked a decisive fall. Judge Subramanian sentenced Combs to 50 months in federal prison, denying bail and sending him straight from luxury to a jail cell. The testimony of Cassie Ventura and another woman, Jane, proved pivotal, detailing how Combs orchestrated their travel for illicit purposes. The jury found their accounts credible, sealing his fate. The RICO acquittal was a small victory, but the felony convictions left an indelible stain. One of music's most powerful figures was now an inmate, a stunning, public downfall. The legal storm began in November 2023, when the first public allegations against Sean Diddy Combs sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond. Cassie Ventura, a former partner, filed a lawsuit alleging years of abuse, sexual assault, and sex trafficking. The details were graphic and disturbing, painting a picture of manipulation and control that spanned years. Although the case settled within just 24 hours, it was a catalyst. The settlement did not silence the conversation. Instead, it emboldened others. Soon, more women stepped forward, sharing their own stories. Over the following months, dozens of civil suits were filed, with allegations ranging from rape and sexual assault to psychological abuse and intimidation, some dating back decades. Combs responded with a forceful, public denial, insisting on his innocence and vowing to fight every accusation. He claimed the lawsuits were attempts at extortion and maintained that he would clear his name. But the legal battle escalated dramatically in March 2024, when federal agents executed coordinated raids on his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Authorities seized computers, documents, and other evidence, signaling a major shift from civil litigation to a full-blown criminal investigation. The raids were broadcast live on national television, with helicopters circling overhead and news crews camped outside. The images left no doubt about the seriousness of the case and the level of law enforcement involvement. By September, after months of mounting evidence and public scrutiny, Combs was arrested and indicted on multiple counts, including sex trafficking and racketeering. The charges were severe, carrying the possibility of decades in prison. Prosecutors alleged that Combs used his businesses, nightclubs, record labels, and even his own home, as tools to lure, manipulate, and coerce women into exploitative situations, all while maintaining a glamorous public image. In court, Combs pleaded not guilty to all charges. The legal teams prepared for a high-stakes trial, with both sides gathering evidence and witnesses. The world watched as the case unfolded, knowing the outcome could reshape the music industry. In less than a year, Combs's life had been transformed, from a celebrated mogul to a defendant facing the fight of his life in a federal courtroom. Cassie Ventura's story was the catalyst for Combs's downfall. Her lawsuit described a decade of abuse, control, and forced encounters, inspiring others to come forward. The allegations became undeniable when CNN released 2016 hotel footage. Combs, in a towel, violently attacked Ventura in a hallway. The video shocked the world, providing visual proof of her claims. Combs posted a public apology, but many saw it as damage control. Ventura's voice remained central. Her victim impact statement described ongoing fear and the threat of retribution. "If he walks free, his first actions will be swift retribution," she wrote. Her words and the video played a crucial role in the judge's decision. The man who once seemed untouchable was finally held accountable. Cassie's courage changed everything. Before scandal, Sean Combs was more than just a music mogul. He was a cultural and business titan whose influence stretched far beyond the recording studio. His name was synonymous with success, style, and ambition, and he became a role model for a generation of aspiring artists and entrepreneurs. Starting as an unpaid intern at Uptown Records, Combs hustled his way up the ranks, learning every aspect of the business. He soon founded Bad Boy Entertainment, a label that would redefine the sound of East Coast hip-hop and launch the careers of legends like the notorious B.I.G. and Faith Evans. After the tragic loss of Biggie, Combs stepped into the spotlight himself, transforming grief into art. His tribute single, "I'll Be Missing You," became a global anthem, and he quickly established himself as a superstar performer and producer. But music was just the beginning. Combs expanded his empire into fashion with the launch of Sean John, earning critical acclaim and industry awards. He also made a bold move into the spirits industry, partnering with Ciroc Vodka and turning it into a household name, earning hundreds of millions in the process. Never content to rest, he launched Revolt TV, a network dedicated to music and culture, and invested in everything from premium tequila brands to private schools, building a diverse portfolio that helped him amass a billion-dollar fortune. Combs was a master of reinvention, changing his name and persona, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, to match each new era, always staying ahead of the curve and keeping the world guessing. He became a symbol of black excellence and entrepreneurial spirit, inspiring countless young people to dream bigger and work harder. His influence was vast. He was a kingmaker and tastemaker, shaping not just music, but fashion, business, and culture itself. But this towering legacy made his fall all the more shocking, as the world watched the empire he built come under intense scrutiny. Now, the empire Diddy built stands in the shadow of scandal, its future uncertain, and its legacy forever changed. The verdict sent shockwaves through the public. For accusers, it was overdue justice, a validation of their stories and a measure of safety from Combs's influence. Cassie Ventura's statement captured the lingering fear he inspired, even from behind bars. Supporters, including his family, stood by him, framing the saga as a targeted takedown. Online, fans and critics clashed, debating whether his punishment was fair or a result of envy and conspiracy. Many struggled to reconcile the inspirational mogul with the convicted felon. His philanthropic work and cultural impact were weighed against the harm he caused. The public remains divided, wrestling with how to remember a fallen icon. Diddy's legacy is now a source of both inspiration and pain. With Combs in prison, his business empire faces collapse, His conviction triggered financial crises and forced brands to distance themselves from his toxic image. The lucrative C-Rock partnership ended, and Revolt TV is struggling to survive without him. The future of Sean John and Bad Boy Entertainment is uncertain, their value tainted by scandal. Executives may rebrand, sell assets, or place businesses in trusts to sever ties with Combs. His children might try to salvage the legacy, but rebuilding will be an uphill battle. The billion-dollar empire is likely to be dismantled, piece by piece. The brand once synonymous with success is now a cautionary tale. Diddy's conviction marks a cultural reckoning for hip-hop and beyond. For years he embodied the untouchable mogul, shielded by power and wealth. His downfall sends a message: no one is above the law. The case forces a re-examination of the heroes we celebrate, and the behavior we excuse. Fans now grapple with separating the art from the artist, questioning the cost of his success. Diddy's story is a cautionary tale about power, accountability, and the Me Too movement's reach. His achievements are now forever marked by scandal. The fall of Diddy will reshape the cultural landscape for years to come.